Hello everybody, RoyalRapids here, and for the first time in a few months, welcome back to a new hardcore Nuzlocke. As you can see today, we will be taking on Pokemon Platinum, but this time with a twist. It is a randomizer Nuzlocke. Now, I did one more before on this channel in Pokemon Emerald. I will link that below in the description if you'd like to go watch it. It would give a little bit of background as to the type of randomization that I use for these types of challenges. I use similar strength randomization, so I only get Pokemon that, you would normally see early game in the early game. For example, you wouldn't see any super overpowered pseudo legends before the first gym. I also randomized trainers to have similar strength Pokemon too. So let's say Rourke, how he has a Geodude, an Onix, and a Cranidos. He will not have a Latios or a Dialga. He'll probably have like a Wooper or a Budew or something. Without further ado, getting into the challenge, it is time for us to select our starter, and we go with Beldum, which eventually evolves into the pseudo legendary Metagross, but for now, unfortunately, only has access to an abysmal move, Takedown. So outside of this first battle, we will not be seeing a whole lot of Beldum. After 3 takedowns, down goes our rival, and as I will show you here, I will show the first few encounters, but I will not be showing encounters throughout the entire run. Just please look in the top right-hand corner of your screen if you want to see my current team. Without further ado, though, it is time to take on Barry, who leads with a Burmy, and thanks to our Dustox, which has relatively high stats for this point in the game, we take down the Burmy with a few confusions leading into Mudkip. This Mudkip has potential to do damage to us, but we stay and hit a critical hit confusion, and 2 more confusions later, we finish off Barry, leading to our first battle with a gym leader Rourke, who leads with a Chimchar, which is a pretty bad matchup for our Bellsprout. So we switch into our Croconaw Durian, who, as you can see, we're using a fruit naming theme, as he takes out the Chimchar with a few water guns, leading into Spoink. Now, as you can see, we have multiple poison types, as we stupidly switch into Spinarak, which I intended to sack for a free switch, but hey, hangs on with 1 HP, allowing us to switch again. I ponder out what to do at this point, since my entire team is poison, before electing to switch into Zigzagoon, who I unfortunately realize I have to sack for some damage as we get taken out by a Psywave, allowing Staravia to come in and finish off the Spoink with a few more attacks, leading into his final Pokemon, Croconaw, which we also have ourselves. I decided to go for a Growl before taking a couple of water guns down to 5 HP to lower his attack before I elect to switch into Pasta, the Bellsprout, who takes out the Croconaw with a single Vine Whip, earning us the victory over Rourke. Now, I always like to show these double battles here, because even though they can be technically easy against these galactic grunts, a lot can go wrong in a double battle, especially with an AI opponent. But fortunately for us, we get pretty lucky, and the opposing galactic grunts don't get great Pokemon in Aron and Cacnea. Aron has good typing, but its stats and move pool aren't great for this point in the game. And although Dawn's Rhyhorn goes down practically instantly, we have no problem taking up the 2 Pokemon, earning us an easy victory, leading into our battle with Mars, which in the base game is one of the hardest battles in the game due to her Perugly being super high level for this point in the game. But fortunately for us, she gets a Smeargle, which goes down in 2 wing attacks without even being able to attack due to only having Sketch, leading into Chansey, which can be a good Pokemon if you only have special attackers. Due to having some of the weakest defense in the game, 2 wing attacks gets the job done. After a quick stop in Eterna Forest, it is time to take on the second Sinnoh gym leader, Gardenia. Usually a grass type leader, but hey, she leads up with the Geodude here, goes down to a single 4 times effective Vine Whip. I like to stay in and do pretty good damage to Solrock with Vine Whip before having to switch out. I go into Coco here, who I like to use as a pivot to try to get in someone else safe, potentially having to sack him, as I don't really need to use for Diglett in this run. After an Intimidate, Staravia takes a rock that would have been easily dead to crit before bringing in Durian safely on a confusion and downing the Solrock with a single water gun. In comes Politoed here, which is a pretty difficult Pokemon to deal with at this point in the game, since it has pretty good bulk and a pretty good support moveset. So I ponder out what to do at this point. 3 of my Pokemon are at half health. My other 3 aren't necessarily in the best condition, as I bring in Coco for a pivot into Weepinbell, as a Politoed sets up a Perish Song. All I have to do at this point is switch around to deal with the Perish Song, and unfortunately for our good friend Peach, after trying to go for a move, we get killed by a single Bubble Beam, leaving us with only 4 team members and giving us our 3rd death of the run. We bring in Snowcone to go to Protect, stalling out the Politoed and leading to a victory over Gardenia, but not without sacrifice. Next up, though, no time to mourn. It's time to take on Commander Jupiter, who leads off with a very weak Togepi, who, as we bring in Brownie, the good old Bibarel, we down the Togepi with 2 headbutts before getting put to sleep due to Yawn and switching out into Durian, the Croconaw. Unfortunately for Turquoise, it for some reason only wants to go for Curse over and over and over again and never attack, leading to 4 water guns downing the turtle and getting us our win over Jupiter, leading into the 3rd gym leader, Fantina, who leads with a Slowpoke. After getting up an Intimidate, I ponder what to do before going for a wing attack and getting it disabled, which actually really sucked, leading me to switch into our good friend Pasta the Weepinbell. Now, Weepinbell is weak to Psychic here. I try to gamble if we can end up taking it out with a single Vine Whip, which we cannot before Vine Whip gets disabled, forcing us to switch into a different Pokemon and us choosing Brownie the Bibarel. After going for a defense curl, I like to go for a rollout before rollout gets disabled. Surprisingly good AI here from a Generation 4 trainer before a couple more headbutts take care of the Slowpoke, leading into Crawdon, another water type. This thing here is unfortunately kind of powerful to try to go for a rollout combo and fail as Crawdon takes out our Bibarel, leading into our good friend Pasta, who tanks a Bubble Beam and nails it with a super effective Vine Whip, leading into Staravia. Now, this is one of the stupidest plays I've ever made before, leaving it into multiple Fury Cutters before going down to a critical hit, leaving our Magby to come in and take it out with 2 more Embers. More casualties on the board who take on our rival Barry once again as he leads up with a Lombre. Lombre goes for a flinch here with a fake out before I elect to switch out into our good friend Swellow, who I replaced Staravia with, who one-shots it with a single wing attack, leading into Shieldon. We switch in good old Durian here, who after 2 Water Guns takes out the Shieldon, leading into a Cherrim. Now, Cherrim, not the world's strongest Pokemon. I'm not super worried about it as we bring in Strawberry, knowing it'll set up a Sunny Day, powering up our fire moves even more as the Burn takes down Cherrim, leading into Marshtomp. And as you know, we like to carry a Grass type on our team in Pasta as one single Vine Whip downs the Marshtomp, earning us our right to take on Maylene after a Deathless Berry battle. First off, Maylene goes for Snubble, but surprisingly enough, a Guts-boosted Wing attack doesn't even do more than half. Even after the Intimidate drop, I find that ridiculous. Guts-boosted Wing attack? Whatever. We elect to switch, obviously, as we're only down to 9 HP, as we bring in our good friend Pasta, put the Snubble to sleep, and start laying away with it with Vine Whips, bringing in Porygon. Now, Porygon has a pretty good move pool. It has Signal Beam, Discharge, stuff by level up. As I bring in our newly evolved Feraligatr, Durian, as he goes for an Agility and a Signal Beam when he comes in, but a few more bites, gets the job done, leading to Electabuzz. Fortunately for us, though, we have a phenomenal counter in Alfredo the Marowak, who takes it out with a one single Bone Meringue, getting us our 4th Sinnoh Gym Badge. Once again, we have another set of double battles here with Galactic Grunts, but they have literally the worst Pokemon you could ask for. Why not could be some trouble, potentially, as you will see later in the run. No spoilers, but Lediba, Shroomish, these Pokemon really give us no problems, and Bread, along with Don's Trico, have absolutely no problem annihilating these Pokemon, earning us an easy victory. Before we're forced to take on Barry once again outside the Pastoria Gym. He leads with an Eevee, which goes down to a few wing attacks after the Growl, leading into Gabite. Now, Gabite can be a pretty powerful Pokemon, but fortunately for us, we have Ice Fang on Durian, which is 4 times super effective, leading into Squirtle. Once again, not much of a problem, as it is an unevolved Pokemon at level 32, as 2 Vine Whips from our friend Pasta gets the job done, leading into Swampert, who goes down into Vine Whips, earning us once again another Deathless Berry battle. Up next is Gym Leader Crasher Wake, the usual Water-type user, but this time he leads up with an Executor who goes down to 2 wing attacks, leading to Porygon. This is the second Gym Leader we've seen with Porygon in a row. After pondering what to switch into, we eventually decided to go into Pasta, who decides to elect to put Porygon to sleep. After missing multiple times, he goes down to a critical hit Signal Beam, once again giving us another casualty in a gym battle. After we bring in Magmortar on the Porygon, 2 Level Plumes get the job done, leading into Muck. After we confuse it with Confused Ray, hits a Mud Bomb, and I like to switch out into our good friend Alfredo, who looks to finish off his 2nd straight gym battle with a Bone Club. And 1 more Bone Meringue does not quite get the job done, so we have to switch in once again to our friend Durian after a full restore. As he doesn't have the best move pool in the world, we go for Crunch, trying to fish for defense drops. After 2 Screeches, it stays too dangerous to stay in, so we bring in Strawberry, who looks to switch again back into Durian, who gets poisoned, but fortunately for us, a single Crunch will not actually do the job, leading to a 2nd Crunch to finally finish off Crasher Wake. Over here in Celestic Town, it's time to take on 4chan admin Cyrus, who likes to scream about how terrible the world is, eh? First up, he leads with Wigglytuff, who we stay in with our good friend Strawberry, get the burn, and a 2nd Lava Plume finishes it off, leading to Marshtomp, 4 times weak to grass, and we bring in our good friend Garlic, our Pasta replacement, who could not quite one-shot it with a Mega Drain, but a 2nd Mega Drain gets the job done, leading into Tangela. Not the hardest Pokemon in the world on Cyrus' side, as we break through Paralysis and a single Lava Plume gets the job done, leading us to another Berry battle. Will it be Deathless this time? Let's find out. He leads up with Miss Magius as a couple of Feint attacks get the job done after he only goes for Spite, leading to his starter Swampert. We switch in Garlic, who after a takedown brings it below half with a single Mega Drain and finish it off with a 2nd Mega Drain, leading into Nidoqueen. Now this Nidoqueen, Poison Ground type, pretty good typing, and we finally have Surf on our good friend Durian, so 2 of those finish off the Nidoqueen, leading into Meganium. Johto Starter v Johto Starter battle as the Meganium gets burned by Flame Body and a single Lava Plume finishes it off, leading to Hariyama, who we like to stay in on, get the burn, which actually activates Guts, which is really bad for us, assuming this Hariyama had Guts. But after a weak Smelling Salt Connect, a single Aerial Ace finishes off Barry before, yeah, We lose Alfredo to a trainers Wobbuffet and Iron Island. Hey, no time to mourn though. We have to take on a double battle with Riley and his now Rampardos, randomized from his Lucario. Fortunately for us, those Galactic Grunts have like Zubats and stuff in the main game, so they get really weak Pokemon randomized with similar strength. These battles have been nothing but easy for us, as Riley's Rampardos is actually quite powerful, as he's been nailing them with ancient powers, getting us fairly easy victories over a lot of these trainers double battles in here. I cannot complain whatsoever. It's a nice break after losing our Marowak. And we cannot get the eggs or inventories full. We won't end up needing it. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. And without further ado, it is time to take on Byron. We lead with our new team member, Tapioca, the Skuntank, who we have Toxic and Protect on, which is perfect for bulky Pokemon like Quagsire. Unfortunately for us, though, Byron does have full restores, I believe. So after a few Night Slashes, we take out the Quagsire, leading into Exploud, another Pokemon I don't mind Protect stalling, after we went for Screech on us. We figure it's safe to stay, and we take a pretty hard stomp for Protecting again. And after realizing it's not safe to stay in, especially with the Screech, we do elect to eventually switch out into Durian. And as you can see here, yes, Byron does have full restores. We hit it with a Surf, a Crunch, and a second Surf finishes out the Exploud, leading into Umbreon, another tanky Pokemon. So I bring in Tapioca once again after taking a Pursuit on Durian. A Toxic gets laid down, and we elect to try and whittle it down with Flamethrowers, Toxics, and Protects before the Umbreon eventually succumbs to its toxic damage after a feint attack, earning us the 6th Sinnoh Gym Badge. Without further ado, though, it's time to move on to Saturn, who has a Miss Magius, and our newly evolved Glalie takes it down after taking a Screech, leading into Scizor. As you know with Scizor, if it's tapped by even the latest of Flames, it goes down in defeat, leading to a Budew, which God knows why he has that, earning us a very easy battle over Galactic Admin Saturn, leading into Galactic Admin Mars, who is it for the Ludicolo, which tends to be a pretty difficult Pokemon for us, but fortunately it seems to have no grass moves. It keeps going for Seed Bomb as the burn finishes it off, leading to Barboach. We have our good friend Garlic, who unfortunately only has Mega Drain, but it's more than enough to take out the weak water ground type, leading into Dodrio. Now this thing can be kind of a problem. It's far from a bad Pokemon, but we do have an Ice type on our side as an Icy Wind does below half. I thought an Ice Shard would finish us. It would not, but after a weak Pursuit, one more Ice Shard gets the job done, earning us the right to finish off Mars and take on Gym Leader Candace. Or, sorry, what's her name again? Anyways, we have our good friend Ham here, the newly acquired Mamoswine, and after a few Earthquakes, we eventually do down the Zangoose, leading into Aggron, who's 4-time weak and goes down in a single one, leading to Probopass, also 4 times weak. And last but not least is Blissey, who has some of the worst physical defense in the game, and Ham goes ham on Candace's gym, earning us an easy victory, leading us to another Cyrus battle, the second of 3. First off, he leads in with a Roserade, which is much better than the Tangela he had in the beginning. After a couple of aerial aces and quick attacks, we finish off the Roserade, leading into Camerupt. Although during its burn, a single special attacking Surf move takes it down, leading into Slowking. Now this thing is bulky with its water and psychic type as well, so we try to bring in our good friend Tapioca, and a few Night Slashes later, we defeat Cyrus for the 2nd time. Once again, it's Saturn time, as he's up with a Drifblim, and we lead off with our good friend Bread, who randomly Baton passes into a Glalie. I guess it wasn't a bad move, as we bring in Strawberry and incinerate the Ice Ball with a single Flamethrower. Garchomp comes in, so we switch into our good friend Durian, who has Ice Fang. After taking a relatively soft dig, I don't think I can take one more. I don't know why I'm saying soft, but he goes for Dragon Claw for some reason, allowing us to take him out with a Crunch. In comes Drifblim. I bring in Tapioca, and a single Night Slash gets the job done. Even taking Aftermath damage didn't matter. And we earn the right to head to Spear Pillar and do the infamous double battle between Mars and Jupiter. Now, I'll tell you what, I absolutely hate commentating over double battles. I probably assume that most YouTubers feel the same, as double battles are very, very, very annoying to commentate over, because it's hard to say what side is doing what. So I'm going to use this time to ask you guys, if you like the video, please leave a like. Please leave any kind of comment. Please leave a dislike, even if you don't like it. Leave feedback in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. And if you enjoy this content, please hit the subscribe button. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me whether you guys subscribe or not. I do just do this for fun. But if you like the video, it would really be nice if you guys could show your support and leave a subscription on the video below. Now, over here in this double battle, we actually almost lose Strawberry to an Earth Power before we have to switch out. And as you can see, we don't have a whole lot of options in the ground types. We have Garlic, we have Bread, who would be the best option. But I switch in Tapioca, assuming it's bulky enough, and it's not, as we lose our tanky Stallmon. Far from the best outcome today. We have to bring in Durian. A single Surf takes out a lot of Pokemon, including our own partner, before our rival switches in Primeape. After taking a soft Charge Beam, a single Crunch takes out the Electrode, leading into Ambipom, who we hopefully can double up on. After it goes for a Nasty Plot, I realize it only has physical moves, as it goes for double hit, and a Primeape Cross Chop downs it, earning us the victory over Mars and Jupiter. After a short trip down the upside down waterfall, I gotta remind you guys to please like, comment, and subscribe again before taking on Cyrus for the 3rd and final time, which is, in my opinion, the hardest battle in Pokemon Platinum. First off, it leads with Cradilly here, who is always a hard Pokemon to deal with. After it goes for an Ingrain, an Ice Fang brings it low, and it gets the Omni Boost from Ancient Power. He heals it up, as this could be dangerous, as this could be, any Pokemon with an Omni Boost is dangerous, but a critical hit Ice Fang ends our fears prematurely. It's in Teriyaki, the Raticate, who I didn't even bother adding to the layout, as it gets one shot by Alakazam after hitting a weak Sucker Punch. Yeah, I can't really complain. We didn't use Teriyaki much. It didn't even have Guts. It only had Runaway. But hey, what can I say? Not all Pokemon can be useful. As we bring in Bread and a single fly down the Alakazam, leading into Starmie. Now, Starmie's a very good Pokemon. Wide move pool, great typing. It's very difficult to deal with. So I ponder what to do here for bringing in Ham and trying to go for the most powerful attacks I can. But after hitting myself in Confusion twice and taking 2 Swifts down to 40 HP, I bring in Durian, who I finally get my head out of my you-know-where and go for a few crunches, taking down the Starmie, earning us the right to take on Slowbro. As much as I would like to get a crunch here, I can't afford to sacrifice our good friend Durian yet, so I bring in Garlic to go down to the Zen Headbutt, who are bringing in Strawberry, who hits a few Thunder Punches in its face through Slack-Offs, eventually earning us the win over the Slowbro, leading to Dusknoir. Now, Dusknoir is a very bulky Pokemon. After a single Feint attack, I'm forced to switch out into Bread, the Swallow. After a Fly brings it below half, we get a Guts boost from the Will-O-Wisp, and after finally hitting a Fly, we get the win over Cyrus. That was a tough battle. We lost 2 Pokemon, but it could have been a lot worse. And I decided to see what Giratina randomized to, just for fun, and it randomized to Giratina. Far from the most fun randomization, but hey, what can you do? Time to take on Volkner, though, as we bring in our newly acquired team member, Apple the Electrode. After fishing for a Charge Beam boost, we take out the Feraligatr with another one, leading into Arcanine. I like to switch out of Arcanine here into our good friend Durian. After taking a few extreme speeds, a couple Surfs get the job done, taking out with only 30 HP, leading into Bastiodon. He is 4 times weak to water, but I do like to switch out just to be safe, bringing in Ham, who hits a 4 times super effective Earthquake to take him down, leading into Licky Licky. An Earthquake does well over half, and a second one finishes up the Licky Licky, earning us our 8th and final Sinnoh Gym Badge, earning us the right to take on the Elite Four, but not before we take on Barry for the final time. Leads up with Crawdon, a Dark type, far from the best matchup for our Psychic type Espeon, as I bring in Apple to hit a Charge Beam in its face, hanging on with 5 HP, and as I don't plan to use anything for the Elite Four, I go Boom on the Swampert for damage, ending the life of Apple the Electrode. Hey, didn't plan to use him anyways, figured that was the best course of action, as a single Aerial Ace finishes off Swampert, leading into Glalie. I bring in Strawberry here against Glalie, and a single Flamethrower incinerates the Ice Ball, leading into Cloyster, who has horrible special defense, so any solid special attacker shouldn't have a problem here. I like to bring in our good friend Durian, and through Protects, I decide to hit Rock Smashes here inexplicably, but hey, it works out. It can't damage us, and the defense drops finish it off rather quickly, leading into Togekiss, who after a Sky attack goes down in 2 Ice Fangs, leading to the Stantler. Stantler, far from the best Pokemon in the world, even though it sets up a Calm Mind. A singular Earthquake finishes it off, earning us the right finally to take on the Elite Four. I like to go through my box here and try to build the best possible team, as I have some really hard hitters in the box here, like Beldum and Dratini, who would be really good if we train them up to the level cap. And without further ado, our final team: Mamoswine, Magmortar, Feraligatr, Metagross, Dusknoir, and Dragonite. Time to take on the Elite Four. First up is Elite Four Air, and I'll excuse the board. It won't be updated until a little bit later. I forgot to do it because, nothing I can do about that now. Anyways, on to the battle. Ham takes out the Leafeon with a few Ice Fangs, leading into Sharpedo. I think about switching here before eventually deciding to stay in and nailing it with a neutral Earthquake, but due to its poor defenses, we take it out in one singular hit, leading into Vileplume. Switches it on a Stun Spore, but since its only attacking move is Mega Drain, I stay in and hit a Flamethrower. Same thing here with Roserade. It can only hit us with Magical Leaf, so another Flamethrower finishes it out, leading into Mismagius. A Feint attack does below half, and another one finishes it off, earning us an easy victory over Aaron, who has a relatively low level cap, to be fair. Next up is Bertha, who leads with a Golduck. We lead in with Ham before letting the switch out here into Ghost Pepper. The Dusknoir, a Thunder Punch does below half, as he switches into Jolteon, actually a surprisingly good AI move. I decided to stay in here and try to hit a Will-O-Wisp through the Paralysis due to Dusknoir's bulk, and it pays off as its physical attacks will do half damage. Obviously, I'm forced to switch here, so I bring in Ham in a single Earthquake, downs it after a soft double kick, bringing in Ninetales, who as we break through Confusion, we one-shot it also with an Earthquake, leading into Aerodactyl. We bring in Durian here, who after a Waterfall one-shots it, leading into Golduck, who a return finishes off, leading into her final Pokemon, Honchkrow. We could stay in an Ice Fang here, but I try to do the safe play and switch out into Orange, the Dragonite, his debut battle. And after I look around, I go for a Dragon Claw, which is over half. A Nasty Plot comes in too late, and a second Dragon Claw finishes off Bertha, leading into Flint. Flint, usually a fire-type user, leads with Gliscor here as he goes for a U-turn and a soft waterfall hits Roserade. After a magical leaf, a single Ice Fang downs the Roserade, leading into Primeape, who in my opinion has a horrible sprite here in Platinum. We bring in Ghost Pepper, hoping he only has fighting moves as he goes for Swagger here, so he can't really hurt us, but he has Punishment. So I switch out to keep Ghost Pepper safe here, obviously, as I tried to fish for a Will-O-Wisp earlier, it didn't work. As we bring in our good friend Blueberry, hits himself in Confusion, but one turn later hits a Psychic, downing the Primeape, leading into Miltank. A single Hammer Arm downs the Miltank, leading back into Gliscor, so I look to switch out into my friend Ham, who goes for a single 4-time super effective Ice Fang, leading into Walrein, who's super bulky. Earthquake does above half, we tank a Blizzard, and a second Earthquake earns us another Deathless Elite Four battle. Last but not least is the final Elite Four member, Lucian, who lives up for the Pinsir. I try to go for a Will-O-Wisp to half his attack, but I hit Weavile, which, hey, Weavile is a physical attacker himself, so I have no problem with that. We bring in Strawberry, tank a soft Night Slash, and a single Flamethrower downs the Weavile, leading into Rampardos. It's a bit of a Glass Cannon here, so Lucian Durian, and a Waterfall can't quite one-shot, but after the Citrus Berry, Lucian doesn't heal, and a second Waterfall gets the job done, leading into Pinsir. He goes for Swords Dance. And yeah, that could be a bit dangerous, but a second Waterfall finishes him off, leading into Claydol. I'd love to stay in here and go for a Waterfall, but I can't quite do that as a single Blizzard does about not even 3/4, but an Ice Fang finishes off the Claydol, leading into Honchkrow, who an Ice Fang one-shots, earning us another Deathless Elite Four battle, giving us a full team to go into Cynthia with. Will any of our Pokemon die here? Let's find out. First up is Bastiodon, as I try to go for Will-O-Wisp before finally landing it. Eventually looking to switch out into Durian here. This thing is Metal Burst, and I didn't really quite register how much that did. I was just hoping it missed, as I was playing a little loose here for the final battle. And we unfortunately lose Durian, the Feraligatr, who's been with us since before the first gym. Ham comes in for the revenge kill after a stupid Endure makes us waste another Earthquake Power Point, leading into Milotic, who is the Garchomp replacement here. Unfortunately for us, Ghost Pepper can't take 2 Hydro Pumps, so we have to sack it to get a clean switch into someone else as we bring in Orange and go for a Dragon Dance to raise our attack and speed before going for a Dragon Claw. After taking a soft Hydro Pump, a second Dragon Claw finishes it off, leading to Altaria, who goes down in a single Dragon Claw. Another fellow Dragon, Flygon, goes down in a single Dragon Claw, leading into Scizor. I go for a Roost here and a Fly, thinking I can one-shot, but I can't, and we're in a bad predicament here if we can't outspeed. Fortunately for us, we got out of there alive, leading to Charizard, who hits himself in Confusion, and a single Thunder Punch makes us the champion of Sinnoh. Did we have 14 deaths? Yes. Was it the best played run? Not even close. But the issue with these randomizer Nuzlocke is you really never know what you're going to see in battle, so it's always important to bring a well-rounded team. In a base Nuzlocke, you can build a team for each and every battle, knowing what you're going to see, knowing move pools. The issue with move pools in this, though, obviously, is that they all use their level-up movesets, which is why Milotic, which is spamming Hydro Pump, and had no better option. That was his level-up moveset at level 62. But we don't know the movesets, we don't know the Pokemon, we have no idea what's coming out next. You have to just lead with a good neutral hitter, which is why I led with Swellow a lot. Staraptor would have been a great leader if I didn't let it die to a Kricketune, stupidly, because it does Intimidate. But these randomizer Nuzlockes can be difficult, and I like to play loose when I have a lot of encounters, too. I feel like it's more fun. I don't have to do a whole lot of damage calculation in my head or anything. 14 deaths, but hey. Mamoswine, Magmortar, and Metagross. All M Pokemon survived to the end. Maybe I'll do a hardcore Nuzlocke with only M Pokemon someday. But once again, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please comment, and please subscribe. And I'll see you guys in whatever comes next.